Hey guys, Chris from Appropriation here, and in this video, I'm going to show you the solution for question 5 from the May 2012 PoA Paper 2. If you want to see the solutions for the other questions on this paper, I'm going to put a card up there and a link in the description below. So be sure to check those out as well. And with that said, let's get into the question. Okay, so for part A, it says, explain in one sentence the meaning of each of the following statements. So first up, it says the owners of a corporation benefit from limited liability. So what does that mean? Limited liability means that the owner's liability for the debts or obligations of the company in the event of the entity's liquidation is limited to the amount which they, the owners, have invested. That is their share capital investment. Right? The benefit there is that the owner's personal assets, their house, their car, their land, whatever else they own, is not at stake of having to be sold to pay off the company's liabilities in the event of liquidation. Liquidation being when the company is selling off assets to pay off all of its liabilities and shareholders and close down. Okay, next item. So it says Faris London, a shareholder, wants to know what the board of directors of Aries Limited does. It's a good question, Faris. So it says the board of directors of a limited liability company essentially runs the entity on behalf of the shareholders. That is, they set the overall policies, goals, and objectives of the organization, right? So shareholders are the owners of the company, and you must have at least, I think, 2 or 3 shareholders, and you can have quite a lot more, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So you can't have everybody trying to run the company. So what they do is they elect this group of people to run the company for them. And that is the board of directors. They direct the company along its path to achieving whatever objectives they set to maximize shareholder value. Okay, next. The registrar of companies has received the documents required to start up the new corporation. So that word registrar is always a kind of funny word to me. But I mean, we can't really say registerer. So registrar is what we do. That's the person who registers companies. So when the registrar of companies has received the documents required to start up the new corporation, this means that the entity now has to wait for approval of the documents by the registrar before it can officially be considered as incorporated or be considered a legal entity. Now, I have in mind that that's not the answer they were looking for. I think that they were looking for the answer that said the company is now officially incorporated. But just because you've delivered your documents to the registrar does not mean that you're officially incorporated. The registrar has to approve the documents. If there was an error or if you omitted a document or some section, they would not approve it. So just by virtue of submitting your documents does not make you a limited company. It needs to be approved. So I put the answer I felt was the better answer to put. Okay, let's take a look at part B. Okay, so it says that Aries Limited has an authorized share capital of $200,000 $1 ordinary shares and $100,000 $1 8% preference shares. On the 1st of April 2011, the following balances were listed in its books. Okay, what are they telling us? So we have 165,000 ordinary shares at $1 each, and the value, of course, is $165,000. Right? So the number of shares is $165,000. The value of each share is $1, and 165,000 by 1 is $165,000. Similarly, you have 83,000 8% preference shares at $1 each. 83,000 by 1 is $83,000. 10% debentures, 41,000. So shares are capital or equity instruments. Debentures are liabilities. It's a type of loan. Okay, so what else are they telling us here? On the 1st of April 2011, Aries Limited issues the remaining ordinary and preference shares for cash and buys back 21,000 in debentures with the cash received. What are we required to do? We are required to draft general journal entries to record the issue of the remaining shares at $1.50 each, the issue of the remaining preference shares at $1 each, and the reduction in debentures. Narratives are not required. Okay, so of course, remember, when you are dealing with general journal items, your debit entries come first, your credit entries come second, and your credit entries are indented relative to your debit entries. Let's talk about the issue of the remaining ordinary shares. What do they mean by remaining ordinary shares? So this table up here tells us that we have issued 165,000 ordinary shares. But the paragraph here tells us that we have an authorized share capital, a legal maximum of 200,000 ordinary shares to issue. So if we have issued 165 out of 200, it means we have 35,000 left to issue. That's the difference between the authorized number of ordinary shares, 200,000, and the actual number issued, 165. So we're going to issue 35,000 more ordinary shares at $1.50 as per the information here. So the money coming into the bank will be the product of 35,000 by $1.5. 35,000 shares by $1.50 per share. That's going to give us how much? $52,500. So you see 35,000 shares at $1.50 each. Now, does the credit just go to ordinary share capital? Well, that will be involved, but it will not be for $52,500 because the par value of the ordinary shares as per the question is $1. So we issued 35,000 ordinary shares at a par value of $1, right? But we issued for $1.50. But the par value has to be recorded in the share capital account. And 35,000 by 1 is 35,000. Now we have a difference there of 17,005, which is the same as the 0.5, the 50 cents multiplied by the 35,000. How do we account for that? That's called the share premium. It's the excess or surplus above the par value for which the share is issued. And that's going to be credited to the share premium account. And the sum of the credits must be equal to the debits and vice versa. Now, if you are not entirely sure how I did that and you want to strengthen up your abilities on journal entries for shares and for debentures and things, I'm going to put a card up there and a link in the description below to my general journal entries for limited liability companies for CSEC POA video, right? So you're going to check out that video and then come back here, right? Okay, let's take a look at the next entry, please. Okay, so it says the issue of the remaining preference shares at $1 each. Okay, so again, we had 83,000 preference shares issued, but we had 100,000 preference shares authorized. The difference there being 17,000. So we're going to issue 17,000 shares as they told us for $1 each. So we're going to get $17,000 and that's going to be debited to cash because cash is an asset. It's increasing because money is coming in. To record an increase in an asset, you have to debit the asset account. The credit will go to preference share capital for 17,000. Now, I'm not putting any narratives because the question said narratives are not required. Now, there's one more thing we have to record here, and that is the reduction in debentures. Well, like I said, debentures are a type of loan, and the question says that they bought back $21,000 worth of debentures with the cash received. So a debenture is a type of loan, which is a liability. Liabilities have the following double entry rules: credit to increase, debit to decrease. When you buy back debentures, you are essentially repaying piece of the loan or the entire thing. In this case, piece of the loan. When you repay a liability, it is going to decrease. And to record a decrease in a liability, you have to debit the liability account. And we will credit cash, right? Cash or bank or cash book, whichever one you feel is more appropriate. And we're crediting that account because it's an asset. And if you make a payment, it's going to decrease the amount of that asset. And to record a decrease in an asset, you have to do what? You have to credit the asset account. Okay, so we have one more part of this question, an appropriation account. Let's get it. Okay, so the question says, other balances found on the books include profit and loss account before interest on debentures, 90,000. So that's a net profit before interest. Retained earnings, 40,100. So that's all of the profit left over from previous years. And general reserve, 51,005. Now on 31st May 2011, the directors agreed to the following. So these things here. Pay the interest due on the remaining debentures. Transfer 51,005 to general reserve. Provide for the dividend to all holders of preference shares. And provide for a dividend of 12% to all holders of ordinary shares. And we, of course, have to show that by doing the appropriation account for Aries Limited for the year ended 31st March 2011. Show all working. Okay, so don't forget to head up your statement, name of the entity, name of the statement, and the period to which it applies. The first thing we're going to start with is this profit and loss account before interest on debentures. So that's going to be 90,000. Now, the debenture interest is an expense, not an appropriation. So what we have to do is find, where was the debenture? So it was 10%. So the interest rate says 10%. Now we had 41,000 worth of debentures issued first. And if you remember, we had to buy back 21,000 of those debentures. So in other words, we repaid 21,000 out of 41,000 of the debentures, the loan, which leaves 20,000 worth of debentures still in issue. So we're going to find 10% of that 20,000, and that's going to give us 2,000. When you subtract that from the 90, you're going to be left with 88,000. And that's the profit, or the current year's profit before appropriation. Now, let's appropriate. Okay, so there's no one right order for the appropriation items to be listed in. I like to start with the dividends first. And of course, in that order, the preference dividends will come first before ordinary dividends. And then we'll do any transfers to reserves. So the preference share dividend was 8% of 100,000. How did I get that? Let's take a look up in the information. So of course it says that it was 100,000, $1, 8% preference shares. And we know all 100,000 preference shares are issued because again, we started off with 83,000 and then the question told us that we issued the remaining ordinary and preference shares. So all 100,000 preference shares are issued and the dividend rate is 8%. Now, the ordinary dividend, it did say, the question did tell us down here, provide for a dividend of 12% to all holders of ordinary shares. Now, in the table here, it said 165,000 were in issue, but we had an authorized number of ordinary shares of 200,000. And don't forget, we issued the remaining ordinary shares in order to get some funds to pay back the debentures. So all 200,000 ordinary shares are in issue. So the total dividend being paid out is 32. Now you don't have to have that subtotal. You could go straight to the one transfer to reserves that was here, which was 51,500. Okay, so we're going to put that there, total of the appropriations, and we're going to subtract that from the profit before appropriation to get the profit after appropriation. And now we are going to add the retained earnings figure brought forward of 40,100, and that's going to give us the retained earnings figure carried forward. Now, to be honest, I used to add this at the start before appropriating the profit, but honestly, it doesn't make a difference where you put it. I'm more these days leaning towards adding it after, because what you are doing by doing that is you are showing that you are able to make appropriations out of the current year's profit without having to rely on the previous year's profit as well. So it kind of says something about the current year's profitability of the entity. But that's not to say that you should not dip into these retained earnings if necessary. Okay, and that's about it for this question. Okay guys, so there you have it. That's the solution for question 5 from the May 2012 POA Paper 2. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you when I have a chance. If you want to check out any more videos, I'm going to put some cards up here. Don't forget to subscribe and be sure to check out my website where you'll find some useful POA handouts. Anyway guys, as per usual, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you next time. Bye.